Okay, guys, so today I'm going to be covering the irresistible offer formula, which is about creating an offer your prospects can't refuse. This is like a key part of your business. If you don't have really irresistible offers, you can have the greatest advertising in the world, but it's going to be hard to sell. But if you've got a great offer, you can sell even with poor advertising and poor marketing and so on. So let me start right at this point. The problem, if your ads don't convert well, if your products don't sell well, and your sales team has trouble scaling up, then usually, not always, but usually the offer is the key issue. Right. So to catch a fish, you need more than a boat. You need bait or an offer, something that you can put out there that is highly attractive to your target prospects. So the reality is your offer is the starting point of any conversation to initiate a transaction. And it's about what you are providing them, your prospects, in exchange for their money, right? So your offer is really the number one driver of your success. And a good offer a good offer forces your prospect to make a decision based on perceived value and not price. This is really the heart of why you want to create a good offer, so that your prospect doesn't make a decision on price. You're not giving them the luxury of doing that. You're really forcing them to make a decision based on the perceived value of the offer. So you've got to have something that's not commoditized. That's just not a plain old product or service. You've got to have something that's perceived as different and as having high value in the process. Right? So it's all about how to create that perceived value. Because the reality is your prospects will be willing to pay double the price if you give them 4 times the value that they seek. Right? And the power of a good offer is it uses leverage or the compounding effect, if you want. So let's say you can, double your leads with a good offer, double the conversion, and let's say double the price. You get 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. You get the compounding effect of 8, not 6, on your business. And this is something that I've covered in a previous one of the previous trainings, is how to use your money model or your profit formula to get that compounding effect. And this is the beauty of what a good offer does. It works on a number of these levers simultaneously to build the profitability of the business much faster. So I want to start, before we get into the offer itself, I want to start with the whole idea of selling to anyone and everyone is like selling to no one. If you're just putting your offers out there and just hoping anybody will buy, then actually you can't really be attractive to anybody, right? So we don't just want to sell to anyone and everyone. We want to be really focused on who we sell to. So let me give you an example. Imagine I sell productivity programs or tools and programs for people to become more productive during the day. Right. So I put that out there. Hey, if you've got a productivity problem, we're the answer to that. Right. Now, imagine I went out to salespeople who have busy salespeople or sales executives that have productivity issues. And I go to them and say, hey, we've got a product service here for busy sales executives like yourselves to help solve the productivity problems that they have, right? They would probably be more attracted to the second offer than the first offer. And they might even be willing to pay a little bit more for the second offer because it's highly tailored to them. Right? But imagine if I go a step further and I say, I've got productivity sales and programs for busy sales executives in tech companies. And if I know that people in tech companies or sales execs in tech companies really struggle with productivity issues, now I've got something that's highly, highly targeted, and those people would probably be willing to pay even more for, for that offer that I'm putting out there. So what I'm saying to you is, don't sell don't create an offer for anybody and everybody, right? Because it's not going to give you the maximum value. So rather select an ideal client that you can provide the most value to. So don't just sell a productivity tool to everybody that has a productivity problem. Sell it to somebody that can really get the most benefits to, right? And that you can offer the most value to. And then, select a market that has a couple of characteristics. Number one, they have a burning need or a pain point. So like my productivity tool, target market, if I know that a lot of sales execs in tech companies are really overwhelmed at this point in time, and that they have a burning issue in trying to solve that problem, then it's very easy to sell to that prospect. I just need to put a great offer under their noses and they're going to pay attention to it, right? If I'm putting that offer under the nose of somebody who doesn't really have that much of an issue, it's a lot harder to convince them to buy, right? So I think it was Theodore Levitt that had an example. He was like a professor of marketing, and in his class he said, I'm going to give you guys all a hot dog cart with all the hot dog goodies and everything in it, and I want you to sell hot dogs. Tell me, what is the most important thing that you need to make your hot dog business a success? And the guy said, well, the kind of hot dogs or the condiments and all those kind of things. And he said, no, that's not your most important thing. The most important thing is a starving crowd. Right? So imagine you've got your hot dog stand outside of Ellis Park when the game comes out, or outside of Soccer City or whatever, when the game comes out at 11 o'clock at night and everybody's starving. Right? You don't need the best product, the best hot dogs to sell. You just need that starving crowd and they will buy, right? So that's the idea. Find people who've got a real need for what burning need for what you're selling. Right? Then make sure that that group of people are easy to find. So for example, do they belong to certain Facebook groups? Do they congregate at particular places? Are they religious type people that go to church on Sunday? Then that's where you can find them, right? If you're selling to chiropractors, it's easy. You can find groups, Facebook groups where chiropractors congregate, right? So try and find, they've got to be easy to locate and find so that you can market to them, right? Then try and find a market that's growing or at least not declining. So if you're into solar these days, like the solar market is absolutely booming. Battery, solar market, all that kind of stuff. That's a growing market in a difficult economy, right? But if you're trying to sell to people who print paper newspapers, that's declining by double digits every year, that's not a great market to get into. Okay? And then make sure they can afford your products and services. Make sure you pick a niche, a target that can afford your products or your services. I attended a webinar not long ago. This very well-known woman in social media was talking about her first set of offers that she put out there, or products and services, and it was called how to get clients if you don't have any money for marketing. And she thought this is going to be great, right? So she had a lot of people signing on and wanting a product and service, but none of them could afford it, right? Because that was the wrong target market for her to pick, right? So just look at those 4 things when you pick a market, right? Then the next thing, people buy by comparing perceived value with price. So I have a look at what am I getting, right? And what am I paying? You know, what else is out there? You know, am I getting great value here, right? So there are only 2 ways to increase your perceived price. Number one, you can decrease your price, which is what a lot of smaller businesses do. Somebody comes in and says, yeah, you know, I like this, but the guy next door is selling it for less, or I'll buy that, but not for that price, right? So you're forced to discount, right? The other way you can increase the perceived value for your clients is, or to increase the price, is to increase the perceived value, right? So imagine you walk into Woolies and there's a pile of beautiful, luscious green apples on the left, and there's the same pile of beautiful, luscious green apples on the right, right? The one on the left costs maybe 10 Rand a bag, and the one on the right costs 15 Rand a bag. If they're the same, you're probably going to say, why should I pay 15 if I can pay 10 for the same stuff, right? But let's say you're very much into sustainability and healthy eating and all that kind of stuff. And on the right-hand side, I say, this pile of apples here has been grown in farms that don't use any dangerous or toxic substances that have carcinogens in them and cause your family cancers and so on. It's it's farmed on farms that have sustainable practices, right? We don't use unsustainable practices. We subscribe to the fair trade regulations, so our workers get a fair deal, right? What I'm doing is, for that group of prospects, I'm creating more perceived value in their mind as to why they should buy those apples and pay 15 Rand a bag and not 10 Rand a bag, right? So it's all about perceived value, and that's very important for your offers, right? So how do we create offers that really, really stand out and are irresistible, right? So there are 8 elements of a powerful, compelling offer, right? Firstly, you want to position your offer as the solution to a problem that they're trying to solve, or dream that they have, right? So remember when I said, find people who got that pain point, a particular pain point, and position your offer for them. Then the second thing is, and I'm going to show you how to do these things, build value. How do you create that perceived value? And people, they stack all the benefits that they can get from your solution as such. You want to make it very, very clear and spell it out, right? Then you want to add some, what we call premiums and bonuses, to add even more value, to boost the value of what they perceive. And then you can look at what we call high value bundles. So you want to maybe bundle some bonuses in there of products and services that don't cost you a lot, but have a high perceived value for your prospects, and still provide you a good margin. You want to make it easy for people to buy your goods. So depending if it's high ticket or low ticket items, you can look at different ways of structuring that payment. You want to then look at what is the perceived risk of buying your product, right, or your service. And you want to make it a no-brainer. Every transaction, somebody takes the risk, and it's usually the buyer, right? So the higher the ticket is, the more you want to focus on reversing their risk. And then, use scarcity and urgency where possible to give them a reason to make a decision now. Buy the stuff now because of scarcity and urgency. And then finally, very powerful social proof. people don't believe your marketing that much anymore, but they do believe other people that's saying, hey, this is a great product, I've got these benefits from it. Even if they don't know that person, just having a stranger say, hey, I bought this, it was cool, I got these benefits, I suggest if you want this, get it too. Right? So that's critically important, right? So you've got to position your offer as the solution to a problem that they're trying to solve or a dream outcome that they want, right? So to do that, you really got to get into the minds of your prospects. And you've got to realize this. Number one, they have a problem that they don't want, right? So I've got a productivity issue. I need a solution, right? And there's a solution out there. I don't know which one is the right one for me, but I'm going to start paying attention. My mind is going to start paying attention to things that talk about that problem because it's real for me. If I don't have that problem, I'm going to ignore it. It's like when you used to read newspapers, Sunday newspapers, certainly I used to, right? You'd go through the whole set of newspapers and at the end you close it and somebody says to you, so what ads did you see? I wouldn't remember a single one, right? But if I had woken up with lower backache that morning and there was something that said, lower backache, yes, how you can solve this in 6 weeks without medication and surgery, I would probably pay attention to that. Why? Because it's a real problem that I have. So my mind would scan that, call it reticular activation system, and would hone in on that because it's relevant to me, and I would ignore everything else as well, right? So people buy based on that problem that they have, and they buy based on emotion, right? It's the pain that's getting me to pay attention to that. When I see a solution I like, I then try and justify buying that with logic. But the thing that gets me to pay attention first is the pain, the emotion, right? Okay, so there are 8 elements of a powerful, compelling offer. Sorry, I'm just running through that. The first thing is understand that they've got this pain and they want a better outcome. So that's the first thing you want to do. Is you want to say, okay, let's say I'm selling accounting services, right? Who is my target market and what is the pains that they're going through, the things that are the situation that's going to drive them towards looking for a new solution. So maybe it's, I'm tired of capturing data every week into my accounting system, working evenings and weekends to figure out where the hell I actually stand financially, right? Always having the information that I need to make pricing decisions or whatever too late, right? And then I've underpriced and so on. I'm always under cash flow pressure. I don't know what I'm doing with my finances. I need help, right? If I'm in that position, those are the pain points that are driving me to look for a solution. What would the ideal outcome be, right? Where my day is free to focus on my business. All my financials, things are captured digitally in the cloud, and everything's done for me, right? I have my finances on my fingertips. I can just maybe log on to some app or something. And I actually have an accountant that cares, like a person I can phone and they'll help me with some of the financial decisions, maybe help me put a financial plan together so that I can fill up my bank account, right? And I want to be in a position where I'm not worried every night about the cash. I want to know that I've got cash coming into my bank account, right? If I know that's the kind of client that I want and those are the problems, I can then start to say, okay, this is problem number one that they have. Their valuable selling time is absorbed by keeping records, recording stuff, right? The solution is maybe done for you bookkeeping or automated in the cloud, and the benefit they'll have is more free time to do the things they want. No stress and anxiety about their deadlines. And then I really want to get to a value, free up 8 hours per month or per week or whatever, the value of their time is X amount. So actually, they can go and generate more revenue. And this is the value of that extra time that they now have. Right? And sometimes it's difficult to quantify the benefit, but if you dig a bit further, why is that important? Why is that important? Why is that important? We usually get to a place where we can calculate a value, right? So the problems are 3 types of problems. Number one, I'm trying to overcome the problem in my situation, and that's why I'm looking for a solution. The second one is the problems I start to think about when using your product or your service, right? So if I'm buying your product or service and it then causes a lot of other hassles at some other stage, how am I going to overcome that, right? So let's say I'm looking for weight loss. I want to buy weight loss products, right? And I find a product that says it can help me lose weight, but I've got to have this specific type of diet. That's cool, right? I'm bought into this idea, but now where do I buy the ingredients? Once I've got the ingredients, how do I put that into a meal so it can be eaten? All those kind of questions are problems that I'm going to have to deal with. So you want to make it very, very easy for people to buy your products and services and use your products and services. And then the third type of problem that you want to focus on is the reasons why I shouldn't buy your product. So for example, in certain industries, they have well-known problems, like the construction industry. They're always late, they always leave a mess. So if I'm worried about that, are these guys always going to be late? Are they always going to leave a mess and I've got to clean things up on the weekend? Then you list that as a problem, and what's your solution to that, right? That starts to create a value stack. So you can start to bring out the value to your prospects, right? To that value stack, you want to make that even more valuable. You want to add premiums and what we call bonuses to boost the value. And we want to look at what we call high value bundles. So I'm going to show you a very practical, simple example that's going to make this a lot more tangible. Right? So here's a lady who does, she's a massage therapist, okay? And she's trying to sell massage therapy. So she starts with a full body massage. Her name's Amanda. Relieve stress and tension, 400 Rand for a 1 hour session. Okay. So that's her offer, but actually that's just a product or service that she's offering. So by going through that process, and I'm going to show you this in a minute, what did her offer end up like, right? So I think you'll agree this isn't very attractive. Everybody can say that, anybody that does massages can say that, right? So going through this process, this is what Amanda ended up with, right? Firstly, what was the pain point? Total and complete relief of stress, tension, and anxiety, and it could be for busy professionals, right? Okay. Full body massage, it'll make you feel like a new person, and if you're targeting professionals, it could be, and re-energize you for your busy work day. Well, right. So now, how can we add a lot more value, right? So yeah, she added the following things in, right? Enjoy your massage while sipping on a glass of bubbly or fresh juice. You get, boom, 1 hour full body massage, okay? A free welcome glass of bubbly or juice. So this is a bonus, right? It's worth 30 Rand. Just note that the value is being shown. Okay? Worth 30 Rand. Right? Then there's a free 15-minute sound therapy that you can also do quite easily. It doesn't cost her anything, but she's got all the equipment. Free 15-minute sound therapy worth 120 Rand. So she throws that in as an additional bonus. Energy healing techniques included, right, for free. She's trained in Reiki and all sorts of other things. And then she'll throw in a Glamour Girl gift voucher worth 500 Rand. And I'll show you how she's managed to do that. So she's got an all-inclusive package worth 1,200 Rand for only 550 Rand. Okay. Call Amanda now on her number, and then scarcity and you know, the time urgency. Book within the next 2 weeks and get a free yoga session worth 350 Rand. Right? So if she knows her clients are particular type of clients that do yoga as well, she can throw in this additional bonus worth 350 Rand. So actually, it's a 1,550 Rand package, you know, for only 550 Rand. I think you'll agree that that is a lot more attractive than just putting out 400 Rand 1 hour session. Right? Now, how does she do the Glamour Girl gift voucher with 500 Rand and the free yoga session worth 350 Rand? And guys, this is where there's so much opportunity. You just got to think out of the box with your offers, right? So let me just talk you through this. To be able to do this, you want to go to other partners, okay, that offer complementary services to what you offer to the same kind of client you're trying to attract. Okay, so your professionals that are coming for, you know, this female professionals coming for this session, this massage therapy session, if you know that they also do yoga, you can go to a yoga instructor and say, listen, would you like new clients for your business? The chances are they're going to say, yeah, of course I want new clients, just like you are. I also want clients. Okay, so if that's the case, are you willing to give away a 350 Rand mat? Well, why should I do that, right? Well, let's just figure this out quickly. What's the value of a client to you? Well, yeah, I really don't know. Okay, so if a client comes to visit, how much do you charge? Well, I charge X amount, right? And how much profit do you make from that one visit? Okay, let's say I make 150 Rand or 200 Rand profit, right? Okay, that's great. How many times do your clients come back to you for a similar yoga session? Well, they come, once every 2 weeks. Okay, so you're making 400 Rand profit a month. And how many months do they tend to stay? Well, they tend to stay at least, a year, sometimes 2 years, right? So let's take a year. All right, so 12 months times $400, so you're actually making 4,800 Rand profit, or whatever that number is. Okay, yeah, that's the profit I'm making. Okay, so would you like to buy another client who's going to give you that profit? Okay, that's a novel way of thinking about it. Yeah, sure it is. How much of that profit are you willing to spend to get a client like that? Okay, well, yeah, maybe 10%. Okay. That amount, right? Let's say that comes to 4,800. Would you be willing to spend $400 to get a client like that? Yeah, sure, I would. Okay. So yoga mat costs 350 Rand, which is less than the 400. Why don't you spend that on a yoga mat? Give me the yoga mat. I'm going to give it to my clients as a freebie, but they've got to come to you to claim that. Right? So they've got to come and attend the session to get the free yoga mat. How's that? Right? Yes, I'm absolutely willing to. Right? So she can do that with a yoga instructor. She can say, well, I'm in a center here. There's a nail bar, there's a hair salon, there's a what have you. I can go to all of them, ask them if they want new clients, and do they have something low cost that they can throw in for free that will bring these clients to them. They'll throw that in and you create your Glamour Girl package. So guys, it's just about thinking out of the box about how you can add value to your offering that has value to your client, but that doesn't cost you much or cost you very little. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is we want to create what we call risk reversal, right? So risk reversal is a guarantee on steroids, right? And once you provide a guarantee, you take a risk away from people. And it could be for the first transaction, it could be for, for more than that, right? So just understand there are a lot of different types of guarantees. Okay, so we got 6 levels. The first level is the standard guarantee, like, 30-day return, right? Bring it back after 30 days if you're not happy. Level 2 is you extend the time period. Instead of 30 days, if everybody's saying that, you say, okay, 90 days for you, right? Level 3 could be the try and then buy guarantee. So, try it. If you like it, pay. If not, we'll take it back. Level 4, the guaranteed results, or you get a full refund. Take this. If you don't lose at least a kilo, use it the way we're saying. If you don't lose at least half a kilo by the end of the month, we'll give you a full refund. Right? Or take this productivity tool. If you don't save at least an hour a week by the end of the month of using this, then we'll give you a full refund. The next level is the customer always wins. So you give them a full refund, but they keep the products and services that they got anyway, right? And then level 6 is the platinum. Look, if you don't get those benefits, then this is a double your money back. We're not only going to give you your money back, we're going to pay you an equivalent amount in return, right? So that's like, wow, you've really got to be sure about your product or your service. But that becomes like almost a no-brainer for your prospects, right? So here's an example of more a service business, right? Get the world's best mid-tier business marketing and profit acceleration program that guarantees you'll double your income in 12 months or less, or will work for free until you do. Okay. Broaden your network of experienced, ambitious business owners when you join our Fast Growth Tigers group. Try before you buy. First 4 weeks free. You keep all the strategies and the know-how, even if you don't sign up after the 4 weeks. Okay. Starts to become a lot more attractive when you start to use some of these techniques, and you won't use all of them necessarily in your product or service, depends what it is, but you might only use some of them. So your offer must make the decision a no-brainer. It must be like outrageous. How can they offer this? Right? How can they give a double money back guarantee? This is insane. Your offer must provide tremendous value, but be highly profitable for you. Because the more value it offers to them, the more they're willing to pay for it, right? And the better the guarantee is, the more they're willing to take the risk, because you're taking the risk away from them. Yeah. So just some basic tips, right? Your lowest price is not a good offer. Lowering your price, guys, is not the way to go. Think about how you're going to add value, right? Platitudes and things like that, it's not part of a good offer. Best service, most professional quality, they want specific benefits and results. Yeah. People also want instant gratification. They want results sooner rather than later, and they want to minimize the effort that they need to put in. Right? So, you can create a promise or offer you'd make if you had a magic wand. So this is a starting point, right? You say, okay, this is the pain points that they have. This is the ideal clients. They can pay for my solution. What would be, if I could create, wave a magic wand, what would be the ideal outrageous solution that I could offer them if there was no constraints? So that becomes your most insane, best possible offer. Then you start to say, okay, let's get to reality here. What's real? What can't I actually do? And then trim it back. But try to keep it still incredibly attractive offer for your prospects. Okay. So guys, I've sent you a template like this that you can then start to use to develop your own irresistible offers. Remember, this is all about adding value and the psychology of your prospects. And it's not about trickery or things like that. It's about understanding what they value and what they truly will pay for. Right? So you can start here by describing your ideal customer and being very specific. So if I'm selling productivity solutions, which niche is going to really value this the most? Busy sales execs in tech companies, right? What problem are they trying to solve? Right. So I need to get into their minds here and really think about what are those pain points? What's keeping them up at night? What are they frustrated with? What are they trying to do that's actually making them go look for a solution? Right? But I've got to approach it from a client out perspective. What we normally do is we say, hey, I think I've got a great idea. Let me try and sell it. Right? Wrong thing to do. Start with a pain point. What are the pain points? Okay, how can I solve that? Right. Then what better future would they really, what would an ideal future look like for them? Ideal solution, right? And then what worries them when they buy my kind of product or service? Maybe my kind of industry's got a reputation or something. What are those things? Because that is actually the area where you can create a lot of guarantees around. Guarantees or warranties, right? Then a quick viability checklist. Number one, am I sure they've got a burning desire to solve the problem, right? I don't want to have to go and convince them they've got a problem, right? They must have a problem and they're looking for an answer. Do they have the means to afford the product or service? They're sales execs. Yes, they earn enough to do that. Are they findable? Yes, I think so. Tech companies, we can find. There are lots of Facebook groups for sales type of people. I think I can locate these guys, right? Are they a growing market? Well, tech companies are, on the up, so that's great, right? Good place to go. Then look at your offer stack. What are the problems and frustrations? What is your solution? What's the kind of value you can they would assign to this, right? And remember, those are those three areas you need to try and cover. And then here are the things you need to put together to have a good offer, right? Firstly, give your offer a name, whether it's a product or a service, but especially if it's an intangible service. Don't say, this is our accounting package. If you have got an accounting package for fast growth companies, call this the fast growth finance package on steroids, or something like that, that talks to the benefits and that names the ideal client. This is for somebody, and these are the kind of benefits they're gonna get. Then once you've done that offer stack, just put out all the components in your offer and the value and the benefits that they're gonna get. And then any premiums or bonuses that you're throwing in, think about, can I get somebody who sells complimentary services to throw something in for free? Okay. Payment solutions, can I say, buy two, get one free, or, try first before you buy, or if you buy within the next 48 hours, there's a special price, something like that. Look at how you can reverse any risk that they might perceive. use scarcity and urgency, right? This is special offer only until this date. But guys, be honest with these things, because otherwise you'll be caught out, right? Or scarcity. We're only making the first, 100 of these things available at this price. Okay. Social proof. Any other people who've actually benefited from this, get them to, get a testimonial. And then tell them what they're going to get and when. So guys, if you place your order today, within 24 hours, you're going to get a delivery. In that delivery is a box. It's going to consist of the following things. It's also going, it's a cooking thing. It's food for a diet. In there's going to be recipes. We're also going to give you a link to a YouTube channel where you can see how to use the products and services, blah, 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 blah. And then always, 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 your offer must end with a call to action. What do you want them to do? It could be call now for this deal, this great deal. But it could also be go and download our guide, the 10 things, the 10 killer things that people do that will prevent them from losing weight, and how to overcome it with our keto diet, or whatever it is, right? They download that, you get a name and email address in return, so you can communicate with them. So you always want a call to action. Tell them what to do next, right? Okay, so guys, once you have that available, you've now designed an offer, and you can now craft what we call the copy, the wording, and that's for another day. But there's a formula for that too. But whatever it is, get directly to the point. Tell people what they're going to get in exchange for their money, the benefits they're going to receive, why they should take it, and what they got to do to get it. Okay. Okay, so guys, over to you, over to Q&A on this. Your thoughts on this? Any questions? Think about your specific product or service. Any specific questions that you have to clarify about yours in specific, or anything else?
Okay.
I think it goes back to your one slide which you mentioned right in the beginning about you can't be everything to everybody. So that's the challenge we face, because we're in the drinks business, so you're up against lots and lots of people, and we believe our perceived value is more than what the other drinks are being offered similar to ours. So that's a challenge we're facing at the moment. And I mean, I had a discussion with somebody yesterday. I mean, he was trying to take it into wholesalers who go into the spaza shops, the spaza market. And he was saying, well, ours is a bit too expensive. But when I look at what he's also selling in there, I mean, our value is far more, but how do you convey that to that market? That's the challenge.
Yeah. So pick somebody who's going to see real value in what you're offering. All right. So not just another drink, but a drink for somebody that's searching for solutions.
But the way he seemed to indicate it, it was basically that sort of area, and probably the LSM. It was in parts of Pretoria, Casino area where he's based, but he sells into that. I don't know where all these wholesalers are, who then wholesale to other people. He was obviously saying price is the big element there. And then, as you said, you don't always want to drop your price, because you take away the value of your product. Yeah,
that's the wrong way to go. So if they're already saying, hey, price, that means there's no value being created in the minds of those prospects for your product.
Yeah. So the other option is, how do we then get him to say to the wholesaler, this is a far better product, or we have to create some advertising to say ours is a far better or far beneficial and there's value to this product versus the other similar product. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to think about who's that ideal target market? What's the pain point? What's the thing that's driving them to look for a solution that's got whatever you got in your drinks, right?
Yeah.
And if they value that, right, then you target those people because they would be willing to pay a bit more for what you're offering in your drink. If it's just, well, it's a nice tasting drink, it's different. Why should I pay more for that? There are plenty of competitors around, right?
Yeah.
So always try and build your margin, right? And go where the margin is higher, especially if you're a small business. You can later on broaden out, but pick the place where people are going to really see the value, where you can charge more, which is more margin, give you more cash flow to expand. And then you can.
It was interesting. This guy, I mean, he was showing us a drink when we dropped some off with them, and he sells pallets, but obviously it's scale for him. And he is the distributor or the sort of middle guy to these people. He puts maybe $1 on each product, but he makes his money if he sells 40 pallets.
Yeah,
he's then making a very good return on for his effort. You know, it all comes down to the scale. And that's what he's saying to us. If we could get scale, but we then are having to maybe drop our price, because his comment was we're a bit too expensive, you know, because it's versus where he's selling stuff, the wholesaler is selling stuff for $12. Ours would probably have to go for 15 or 16 type thing, you know.
So he's in the commodity game, Dave. So he just wants to
Yeah.
move a lot of stuff.
He wants to move, yeah.
At low prices and low margin, and it's volume. So if you're in the commodity game and you can manufacture at very, very low prices, you know, then you might want to play that game. But generally, I would say if you've got something that's really special for a group of people, offer that, target those people with the right messaging and charge more for that, right? And build maybe a smaller business, right? But that's far more profitable that you can expand. Right?
Yeah.
Rather than this mass commodity stuff that you know, because that's going to cost you in the long run. You know, there's distribution, there's all sorts of things that you've got to consider on the cost line as well to spread all that product out there. It's very difficult. Doug, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, Peter, I think something in this, but you've got to be very careful of, is when you're dealing with third parties, is what's in it for them can actually be very negative to you, because like that guy with the distribution of the drinks, he's looking at his product, his bottom line, not at yours. And I think you've got to be careful to have enough belief and whatever in your stuff that ultimately you can walk away and say, well, look, then we're not going to deal with you. We'll find someone else. Because that guy's just looking to make his rand a time, you know, and then you're inclined to think, oh, if I don't get this guy because he's such an XYZ, I'm going to lose out. And I think when you get that, then they've got you in the trap.
Yes.
Yeah, we experience it right now. We distribute wholesale diesel, and we got a tire outlet. And we spend half our life boxing with our suppliers. Yeah. Because they keep telling you, you know, like as at yesterday, the fuel price went up and the rebates back to the distributors from the refineries have been cut. And they've cut them 3 times now. So when you read in the press that the fuel's gone up by R1.20, to us, the distributor, at the end of the day, it's gone up by R1.35. Right. Because our price that we're getting from the bulk distributor has actually gone up. It doesn't just go up by what's the published price.
Yes, yes.
But you have to make sure that that is correct, because it might have only gone up by 10 cents. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Yep. And you know, in business, all's fair in love and war with everybody, I find. And you just can't believe it. You've got to check it yourself.
Yeah.
Because if they can make an extra 5 cents out of you and smile and tell you the story while they're making it, they will do it.
Yeah, yeah. No, absolutely right. Derek, your thoughts? Hi, Derek. Are you there?
There. Okay, come back. And look, this has been very insightful for me as well as a manufacturer. It's very difficult manufacturing product to a price that people would like, for starters.
Yes.
The value add of the extra little trinkets and stuff that you can add on to it, that was pretty interesting for me. I've been thinking about giving stuff or adding value to my products, but from a in-house perspective, and obviously from a cash flow situation, I can't really afford that. So you've given me the idea to go and speak to other people that might be in sort of more or less a similar market as I, or businesses as I, to see if I can maybe boost their products by implementing that little thing that you spoke about earlier on. That was really insightful. I think that might just make the trick. I'm actually going to try it tomorrow, because tomorrow morning I have to go out all the way out to the Bundes in Sanin area to go and speak to people there that are having insane issues. And speaking to other people that have tried to get business in those areas, those people are very hard. And so, yeah, I think if you come with a little carrot, it might just change your mind. So thank you for that. I'll try it out tomorrow.
Yeah, no, great. Let me know how it goes, Derek.
Oh, definitely.
Awesome. And Derek, also unpacking the full value of your product as well. The fact that you've got those non-lethal defensive solutions. You can unpack a whole lot of things there as well. Yeah, like your alarm goes off, but the security company comes out and nobody's there or is perceived to be there. They disappear and then they ransack your house or whatever. Yeah, you've got a virtual guard on duty all the time, whether they come or whether they don't, right? They then get through, ransack your property. In this case, they're not going to be able to ransack, anything as such. All those kind of things. You can start to unpack that and create a really cool offer. Around that as well, and then put all those other bonuses and things like that in, and then certain warranties and guarantees. You can put all of those kind of things in as well, and people will look at your offerings differently, right? They'll just start to perceive it differently. Right? And then if you go to somebody else and you say, hey, would you like to add this onto your product? Right, and they can get XYZ for free, but they got to obviously come to you for something, right? That could work. Yeah,
I've done all the above, but there seems to be a resistance into stopping crime. Crime makes money, so I stop it. So it's been my 30-year-old battle. The
homeowner doesn't want that.
They're the ones that would typically come to you and say, yeah, but what if I spray myself? And you, sometimes my tact levels are very low, and I will say, yeah, well, what if they come in and they rape your wife, bludgeon you, shoot you, attack your kids? What then? What are you going to say to them afterwards? You can either trust the conventional system that makes money out of you and promises you absolutely nothing, or you can use my product. And if I had a buck for every person that I said, man, you make some cool stuff, I think I would have been able to buy the Guptas as well as the ANC by now. But unfortunately, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, should have a cup of coffee, spend 10 minutes together. Maybe I can help you think through some of that stuff.
Yeah, that'll be great. Thanks, Peter. Yeah. Thanks for these lessons. They're really insightful.
No, that's you're welcome. Makalani, your thoughts?
Yes, Peter. Look, it has been beneficial and eye-opening for me as well. Just partnered with, as you know, that we offering accounting services. Just partnered with some accounting firm in Joburg, so they've got much more bigger access to markets than we do here in the Free State. So we've been working on our service offerings. So and this couldn't have come at the right time. Very, very efficient.
That's great, man. Good. Glad you guys got some value out of that.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So great. I'm glad you got a little bit of value out of that. If you like to spend, 10 minutes, I don't mind hopping onto a call or whatever, just chatting about what maybe what your challenges are and giving you maybe a couple of tips on what you can do around your own offers and so on, or anything else. Happy to do that. Okay, guys. Great. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday and keep the mind ticking and just start to think about these concepts and how you can apply it to your own business. Because guys, it's only through taking action and applying it that you actually get different results. Do nothing, you get the same results. So keep the mind ticking. Start thinking about how to leverage this stuff. All right. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. And then we'll hopefully see each other on the next training.
Thanks,
Peter.
Peter.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
eh?
Okay.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Guys.
Bye.
Bye now.